Yeah. Um,
Okay, cool, man.
yeah.
So welcome. This is technically the first live that the DSA community has ever done, and I
Okay.
appreciate you being here, man. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm here to answer any and all questions. Again, you've signed on for some other program entirely. This is just a free benefit for you, and anyone
Yeah.
else that chooses to join before the session ends. But I'm happy to answer any questions in the meantime.
Uh, yep. May I please know, if like you have any roadmap? How do we approach? How do we approach in here? Especially, like you have any flow chart? Like what are all the things that we keep do that we will do?
Yeah, I'm going to create a flowchart. It's part of one of the next projects that I'm working on. And it'll
Okay.
be like a lead magnet for us to get more people into the school group. So you'll be one of the first people to get that once it's completed, for sure.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I would say for now, though, is if you're interested in learning how to approach people, there's really
Okay.
only this can be broken down in one of two ways. Um,
Okay.
direct or indirect, right? Direct is something like, hey, I think you're beautiful and you deserve to know it, right? That's like direct. You're
Mm.
letting them know you're interested off the bat. The
Okay.
real superpower is indirect. Now, direct can work, especially if they're into you, but it's inconsistent, right? Like they're basically judging you off of your appearance and like a quick assessment.
Okay.
Indirect is where you have control. Indirect
Okay.
is um, can be broken down into one of three ways, which is to say that it's an observational approach, right? Let's just say you're at a bar or at a bus stop or, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. And you see
Okay.
something that
Okay.
inspires a conversation like someone tripping, right? You could tap them on the back of the arm right here, like with the back of your hand, and just be like, "Did you see that?" You're like, just that. That's an opener, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
The other openers would be observational. Um, oh my God, my brain is drawing a blank for the second one. Oh, that's so embarrassing. It's going to annoy me. The third one is
Yeah. No worries.
essentially reading their mind. So like let's just say you're at a grocery store and you see somebody trying to pick between like two bags of rice. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Two fruits. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whatever it is. Right? You could be at a bookstore. It applies. Doesn't really matter. But if you see somebody
Okay.
that's sitting there comparing options, it doesn't really matter. Just be like, get that one. And they'll be
Okay.
like, I'm sorry. And just be like, I saw you were contemplating it. Get that one. They'll be like, why? And be like, because it's better. How do you know? Because I say so. My name's Chris. Like
Okay.
it doesn't, you can be silly with it, or you could just be like, just starting a conversation. And these are
Okay.
essentially called rejection proof openers, right? From the
Okay.
opener, you still need to transition.
Okay.
And that's a different thing altogether. But you asked, how do I start the conversation? And that is through rejection-proof openers from indirect approaches.
Okay.
Observational,
Yeah, that's really cool.
super annoying. I have it in my notes somewhere. I think it's just been that long since I've talked about it. It's really
Yep.
annoying.
Okay. No worries.
Um, so essentially, indirect is the superpower.
Okay.
Observational, I want to say conversational, but that sounds wrong. And then the mental guessing. If you can do
Okay.
those things, then you can pretty much start a conversation safely in a justified way. From there,
Okay.
you transition into whatever is socially acceptable, right? So like this is more advanced, and I'll say more advanced. It would be like one of the first steps that we work towards working together.
Okay.
However, if you have problems with approaching at all, like that just terrifies you, let me ask, like,
Okay.
is that something that scares you? Like, is that something that you would, I'm not approaching, I'm terrified. Or would you just go for
No, I can. I'm not afraid of it. I can approach. But I have approached many times.
it? Hmm.
But there was nothing much that I could do it. But it didn't go further. maybe it died.
Okay, so
Maybe
conversation
after
dies.
few conversations, like maybe like sorry.
So conversations died. You can spark a conversation. You just don't know how to keep it going so that way they're
Yeah,
engaged.
yes, that's it. Yes, like
Got
how
it.
to keep it going and how to make it interesting. Yeah,
Okay,
something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's actually one of the easiest things in the world. You can say something to the effect of like, hi, my name is Santos, by the way. I'm super friendly, extroverted, just looking to make friends. What's your name? And then she'll tell you. She'll be like, oh, I'm Samantha, or whatever it is, right? Be like, oh, okay, cool,
Okay,
Samantha. Do you mind if I hang out? Like, I have time to kill, and you seem friendly, right? Like, if you're at a bar, that makes
okay,
all the sense in the world. If you're at a grocery store, then you might need to change it up a little bit.
okay.
But you get the idea, right?
Yeah,
Hmm. And then from there, you just want to figure out what their passions are, what they like to
okay,
talk about. Don't worry about what you want to talk about. Worry about what they want to talk about.
okay,
In
okay, okay,
in a perfect world, they mesh. But if you can have a conversation about something they're passionate about, even though it's not your passion, then I
okay,
mean, they'll be hooked.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay, okay.
So let's break down, if you can recall, what was one of your last approaches that you would be willing to break down?
Um, maybe like last approach was like maybe last week, last
Okay.
of the last week. I had been to the pub and where I was dancing, and there were like many like girls are also like, but I don't know how like what I need to talk to them, but just I was saying hi, how are you doing, and that was conversation. That's it. And further on that, mm, I don't know like what I can talk later on. Maybe somewhere I go numb for myself. Yep, and there was one situation like where the girl was giving a lollipop to other girl, where I picked it instantly. But yep, simply and I gave it back to her. It
Okay.
was just a funny one.
How did that go?
Yeah, that was just a funny one. She was quite angry. Oh, and I gave it back later and said sorry. Just for fun, I did.
Okay. So she didn't appreciate it. Or did she laugh with you, but like playfully get angry?
She got a little bit angry, so that's why I just
Okay. All right.
said
So
that.
so you did something called shattering rapport. Now, there's the formula for attraction involves building rapport, which is like what you need to do from going to go from stranger to like best friend, right?
Okay,
The more commonalities that you guys have, right? The
okay,
more similar interests, the more alike you are, the more you build rapport, right? It just builds
okay,
familiarity, safety, trust, that sort of thing, right? If you
okay,
stay there, you get stuck in the friend zone. The
okay,
next step to attraction is called breaking rapport. Breaking rapport is exactly what you did. You just didn't have enough rapport built in order to break it, if that makes sense. So instead, you shattered it, right?
yeah,
The way I teach breaking rapport is if you did it, you would piss off a stranger. But because you guys are friends, it strengthened your bond, right?
okay,
You stealing the lollipop from like a close friend would have been like a fun, playful gesture. You
yeah,
doing it to a stranger pissed off a stranger. So you actually
yeah,
have the right idea for breaking rapport. You just need to learn how to build rapport first. If you can do
mm,
that, then those gestures will succeed. Like they will come off as funny and playful.
okay. But she was dancing with me like for nearly for half an hour or 45 minutes. So that's why I just moved it. But
Okay.
maybe it didn't
So
work.
yeah, so dancing with you for 30, 45 minutes. It's possible she was dancing with you. It's possible she was just dancing at the same time as you, which is not the same thing. If you
Okay,
guys bond and you guys are like, dancing together and you guys are like swinging and holding hands or high-fiving or like dipping, whatever it is, right? Then I would say, yeah, you probably have a little bit more physical rapport, but you still need like
okay,
deep conversation to build rapport with somebody.
okay, 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 fine.
Mhm.
Yep,
And
okay,
Santos, when you speak, like, because I know this is just you and me here and we're not at a pub,
okay,
but when
okay.
you speak, are you very monotone generally? Or do you have like heightened inflections where you're like, you know, You have a higher
Uh,
pitched voice and then you have a lower pitched voice. Like right now when you're speaking, it's very monotone. I don't know if you notice it.
yes, like it's a monotone only. Like I don't use a high pitch one.
Okay. I would encourage that you learn how to speak with emotion and inflection. And your body language, by the way. Notice how I'm talking with my hands. That's on purpose.
Okay,
Notice
okay,
how I
okay.
have physical gestures as I move. That's on purpose.
Okay, okay,
Mhm.
fine. Yep,
Yep.
sure, definitely.
Yeah, because if I'm
Yep,
talking like this and this is how I talk, and hi, my name is Chris, right? Like it just you're not you sound like a robot. I'm not saying you, but like human beings would sound like a robot that way. And so you
okay,
want to come off with some social sophistication through nonverbal cues, body language, that sort of thing.
okay.
So we'll do a weird experiment. I know you said it's dark. Can you turn on the light or would you prefer not to?
Yeah, yes, I'm going to the safe area,
Okay,
turning on light.
cool.
Yep,
All right, we're going to do a weird experiment that my first coach did with me. I'm not going to lie, I
okay,
secretly judged my coach. I felt stupid doing it, but it did change my
okay,
life.
okay,
Okay, are you standing or
fine.
sitting?
Sitting.
Sitting? Okay. Uh, that's fine. We can sit for this one. Generally speaking, though, for exercises, I would say stand up, but it's okay. For
Oh,
this one, we yeah. All right. So I'm going to tell a story, and it doesn't
okay,
really matter what story.
okay,
Your job is to create emotions off of nothing but your face. So angry
okay,
emotions, sad emotions, happy emotions,
okay,
right? Like it's going to feel stupid. Don't worry about that part.
okay,
Okay. And then the tone of my story is going to match your facial expressions. Now,
okay,
I was a dick to my coach when I did this, and I did like very soft facial expressions to see if he would catch on. But that wasn't the point of the exercise. And looking back, I kind of feel bad on
okay,
it.
okay,
So the more exaggerated your facial expressions, the better. Okay.
okay,
Okay.
sure.
All right. So yeah, man, I've been a dating coach for, again, you want to make facial expressions. It's going to change the tone of my story. Okay.
Okay,
So yeah, I've been a dating coach for the past 10 years, and I was a dating coach because well, I became a dating coach because I really, really, really struggled talking to women, like making friends.
okay,
And it was really dumb luck that I found this industry. It completely transformed my life, and my mess became
okay,
my message. And so,
okay,
yeah, and so I'm like really proud to be able to help people fix their lives. I'm telling you, like this hair is a brand new thing. I'm 31 years old. I've had short hair my whole life. I'm just grateful it worked out because yeah, I went through an awkward phase growing out my hair. It's actually kind of funny.
okay,
Well, it wasn't. My mother-in-law made fun of me a lot. Anyways, but like, do you see how like your facial expression would
okay,
lead the conversation that I was telling, right?
okay.
Okay. You
Yep,
essentially want to do the same thing, right? You want to smile to let people know that while you're talking, they should be smiling.
okay, yep,
Yep. So
yep, got it.
now, now we're going to do another stupid exercise. Give me your
Okay,
biggest smile that you can give me. Like a totally fake smile, but like the biggest one. Okay, perfect. That Santos, that human being with that smile is much more approachable than the guy that's like this. And what's funny, yeah, right. But what's
yeah,
funny is even though you might feel stupid because the smile is forced, right? And I'm not saying you
yep,
do, but I'm saying like I personally do. To this day, I still feel a little stupid when I have to force a smile. But I do know that my smile makes me approachable, even if it seems forced and I feel silly on the inside.
okay,
Okay? So
yeah,
again,
got it.
my challenge to you, good sir, is smile all the time.
Yeah,
It just makes you more approachable.
yeah, sure,
And dude, you
definitely.
have good teeth. Like a lot of people cannot boast that compliment. You have good teeth.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's a good
Thank
smile.
you. Thanks, Liz.
Smile more. Seriously, smile.
Yeah, sure.
And by the
Definitely, I
way,
will smile.
when as a coach, as somebody that's, done sales calls and has taught remote for forever, really, I can
Okay.
tell you when someone is smiling just from the sound of their voice.
Okay.
I've worked with couples before, like done couples
Okay.
counseling, and they'll be fighting and like yelling at each other, and there's no visual, like I don't do it on Zoom all the time. It's usually just a phone call. And
Okay.
like if the woman's pissed off and I break her pattern and make her smile, I will know just off of her voice, and I'll be like, "You're smiling right now, aren't you?" She's like, "How do you know?" I was like, "Because I know what I'm doing." You can tell by the sound of their voice based on if they're smiling, if they're standing, if they're bored,
Okay.
if they're closed off, right? Like your inflection really matters. And I think that
Okay.
is something that you need to practice tremendously this next
Uh,
coming, like this weekend, in
yeah.
every single interaction you have, homie. Smile.
Yeah, sure.
Hmm.
Definitely, I will do that.
Perfect. Yeah, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Um, Yeah, and then from there, once like you're super approachable, you seem safe, you got good teeth, which by the way is very important to women. You have good
Okay.
hygiene, right?
Yeah.
Then the smiling is just like, yeah, hi, my name is Santos. I was like, hi.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really,
Mhm.
yeah, I feel really cool now. Yeah,
Good.
I feel a little bit like rather than being like it might not work, but the way you said to me, it's really good.
I'm going to challenge you to say that again, but with a big smile on your face.
It's really good. Whatever you said to me to keep
Smile,
smiling,
smile, smile.
smiling, and that's I really liked it.
Uh-huh.
Other than before that, I have approached few other peoples as well, but they were not so much convincing to me as you mentioned. Like I need to build up my body rather than going online is totally is totally not at all worth what you mentioned, and I'm totally impressed by that way.
Hmm.
Impressed by that what you explained to me, and I was also looking for something like that. And the way you are also telling to me to smile, and that's also a good one. And I like it totally. In fact, in every way and in natural way. Many times I will be in a meeting and like, but they will be offline. But they will be online only.
Hmm.
But yes, but we don't show off our faces, and we just keep talking and for hours and hours together, and there will be huge bombardment many times
Hmm.
when the break happens, and yeah, and it's totally a cool one.
So
Yep.
I want to point out, like this is recorded, right? We're going to publish it. There's not many
Yep.
people here, annoyingly, but I'm going to do this every day. Hopefully, we'll get more people here. For anyone
Yep.
that's watching this recording, I hope you saw his face because there's
Yeah.
a radical difference between when he
Yeah.
talked like this and he was very monotone and he would start to use gestures and smile. Dude, you're
Yeah. No, no,
like,
yes, no, this one is very good, very fine. Yep.
mhm.
Thank you.
And by the
Yeah.
way, when you smile, you talk with your eyebrows.
Oh.
Yeah, when you don't smile, your eyebrows are stiff.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yep.
I have never ever observed it, and maybe I will practice it
Mhm.
and I will try to be, yep, be more smiling.
Yep. But like,
Yep.
dude, all the time. And
Yeah.
during this
Sure.
entire phone call, like
Yeah.
smile. Even if it's
Yeah.
forced, smile.
Sure. Definitely.
Mhm.
I will be smiling.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, that's really just going to make you much more approachable. The fact
Yeah.
that you are willing to approach as often as you say you are, I think that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Okay.
Most men cannot get over that fear. Now that you're more approachable, provided that you actually do this,
Yeah.
right? The smiling, the gestures, then we just need to work on how you transition, how you build rapport. And building
Yeah.
rapport, you asked for like a roadmap or like a blueprint, right? Building
Yeah.
rapport is your homework assignment for this next week.
Okay. Okay.
Basically, what building
Uh-huh.
rapport means is that you are
Mm.
going to make friends. You are going to put yourself in the friend zone because
Yeah.
my methodology involves going to the friend zone on purpose and getting out of it instantly,
Okay.
right? I know that
Yeah.
seems backwards, that seems counter to everything anyone would ever tell you. However,
Okay.
what I do is with
Mm.
strangers, I will make them feel like we are the best of friends. How come I've never
Mm.
met you before this random evening at the bar or at the coffee shop? It doesn't matter. And we just have this
Mm.
connection. And then I'll start incorporating breaks and rapport. And then I'll qualify.
Okay.
And then I'll do the next step, which is to qualify. And qualification is basically like
Okay.
planting seeds, but making sure they jump through hoops that I want them to jump through. So
Oh,
that way
okay.
I'm in a position of power and they're chasing me. From there,
Yeah.
I escalate. And so it's a four-step process. Build rapport.
Okay.
I love the smile. I love the laugh. Build rapport, break rapport. Don't shatter it. If you shattered it, you didn't
Okay.
build enough rapport. Build rapport,
Okay.
break rapport, qualify, escalate. That is it. That's attraction. And
Oh,
do what's called the
no,
break the
nice.
touch barrier.
Yeah.
Um,
Really
Yep.
awesome.
So we're not gonna focus on these three yet, right? For anyone else that's
Okay.
listening, if you're a little bit more advanced, then join a call and we'll talk about those. For you, good
Yeah.
sir, I want you to tell me how you've built rapport to make new friends, smiling and being approachable,
Yeah.
and finding commonalities.
Yeah.
Homie,
Sure.
this can be men, this can be women, this can be old women. I don't
Yeah.
care. The
Yeah.
skill
Like
is the skill, right?
yeah.
If it's hot, gorgeous models, all the better, right? But the skill is the skill. Just
Yeah.
work on building rapport, making friends. And then
Yeah.
I want you
Sure.
to tell me how many friends you've made based on, like, you got their phone number so we can hang out. Not a date. You got their phone number so we
Okay.
can hang out.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Now, here's the next step for you is
Yeah.
what would you do to hang out with people? Like, would you meet them at the nightclub that you usually go to, the pub?
Yep.
Would
Yeah.
you
Usually
do,
I go to nightclubs.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. And just be like, yeah, my name is Santos. Like, I come here often. I sometimes go to, the other
Mm.
pub across the street. Honestly, you seem super down to earth. I'd love to hang out. Maybe we can do this again next week. Doesn't matter. But if you're willing, do you mind if I get your number and I'll text you and we can coordinate this again? I don't want anything from you. I'm just looking to make friends.
Okay.
So no pressure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nice.
do,
Yeah. Yeah.
do you catch it? If
Yeah.
you can
Catch it.
get that down, what you've done is essentially, and this is later, right? We're working on this, but what you've done is you've essentially set the foundation for dates
Yeah.
because now you know you are someone that can get a phone number easily.
Okay. Yeah.
Once we apply the breaking rapport, the qualifying, and the escalating, then
Yeah.
I mean, you have a date before the date even ended. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Totally.
why that's why my method is effective. It's based on psychology. And it's very,
Okay.
very under the radar. So I don't care how low
Yeah.
confidence you are. I don't care if you think you need amazing genes. I don't give a shit what your issue is. The principles
Yeah.
of psychology work because we're all human beings.
Yeah.
Yep. So your job, make friends.
Yeah.
Cool,
Sure.
man.
Definitely.
Was there anything in that you would want me to expand on, or were there any questions you had?
Um. mm, as you shared your the fitness training,
Mhm.
usually like how long will it take? If possible, may I know? Like
Yes. So fitness training, I mean, that depends, right? Different people
okay,
have different body types. Um,
okay,
I can't remember what they're called, but there's like mesomorphic or something like that, right? It's worth a Google. Um,
okay,
and you, good sir, I mean, you don't seem terribly skinny, right? How much of it
okay,
is like fat versus muscle? I don't know. And it honestly doesn't really matter. What does matter
okay,
is your ability to build muscle underneath fat, okay?
okay,
Right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a cut. So most people have to bulk, which is put on fat to build muscle,
okay.
right? If you don't have the muscular strength you want, then we'll just assume that you're bulked, right? I'm not going to ask you to take
Yeah,
off your shirt right now. Um, from there, I would say anywhere from
okay,
3 to 6 months, you should notice a significant transformation, especially once we cut.
Okay.
Mhm. Um,
Yeah.
for anyone listening, I'm not a physical fitness coach. However, I was in the Marine Corps. I was a super skinny dude, and so I
Oh,
did learn physical fitness, and I did learn how
nice.
to build muscle. And I
Ah,
I tore a few muscles in the Marine Corps being stupid, so I'm a big advocate of form. But
oh,
anyways, I say all that
okay.
to say that like if you want help with it, I can teach it, but that's not what I'm known for, and that's not what this program is. So
Yeah.
to become more attractive, go for it. I got you.
Yeah. Sure.
Cool.
And also, what about the? You have any diet plan that I need to follow? Mhm. If possible,
Yes.
sorry. I'm sorry for that if I'm asking for more or something wrong.
No, 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 nothing wrong. So your diet plan, you said you're vegetarian, off
Yeah.
call. You said you're vegetarian. So
Yes. Yes.
just make sure that you have something called pre-workout, um,
Mm.
and protein. You want whey
Yeah.
lean protein. WHEY, whey.
Yeah. Okay.
hmm
Yeah.
You don't want anything called a mass gainer, which is to say that it's protein and stuff that'll make you fat on purpose so you can bulk, right?
Okay. Okay.
So if you have like a local GNC shop, I don't know if you guys have those in Ireland, um, but like a local supplement shop, right? You can go in
Yes.
and just be like, "Hi, my name is Santos." Again, practice rapport building,
Mm.
right? Smile.
Yeah.
And just be like, "Yeah, look, I'm looking to get into physical fitness. I've never done it before. Can you
Okay.
can you educate me on pre-workout and protein? I'm not looking to bulk. That's all I know." And then
Okay.
like just being subject matter experts, they'll usually
Yeah.
explain it to you.
Yeah. Sure.
Cool?
Cool. Yeah.
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 I just looking at your personality profile,
Yeah.
do you have diagnosed ADHD or ADD or
Uh, no,
no?
not really.
Do you
No.
suspect like you have a hard time overcoming yourself when like you have to do hard things or
Yeah, like when I had a hard breakup, during that time I had a little bit of bad stuff, and yeah,
okay,
that's it.
so you're talking about depression specifically. The only
Yeah.
reason I ask is when you gave me your Big Five personality profile, which by the way, anyone listening, there's
Okay.
a website that I recommend, understandmyself.com. DSA,
Yeah.
myself, I'm not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form, but they
Yeah.
are the most accurate in the world for that assessment. So, your test came back very low in trait conscientiousness, and
Okay.
conscientiousness is uh, measures how likely we are to do what we say we're going to do. You were
Uh,
moderately low in trait industriousness, and you were low in trait orderliness. Those are two subdimensions of conscientiousness. Industriousness is how hard of a worker we are. Orderliness is how like organized and cleanly we are, right?
okay.
Okay. So yeah, just being moderately low industrious made me think that you might have some ADD-like symptoms. And then being very low in orderliness made me think that, that's possible as well. So maybe I'm wrong. I'm happy to be wrong.
Mhm.
Um, I just
Yeah.
I just know
Yeah,
that a
you're
lot of people
partially
have.
correct. You're partially correct in 50%, 50 to 60%. I can say for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, for anyone that struggles with that, whether they think they have ADD or not, but like they struggle to do what they say they're going to do, I've found that if you're willing to cut
Yeah.
out carbs and sugar, your brain goes into what's called ketosis. Your body does really, but your brain uses ketones for energy instead of glucose, and
Okay.
then your ability to, what would you say, have control over your brain and body
Mm.
significantly improves.
Yeah.
That's particularly relevant for people with ADD and ADHD. So not to go off topic,
Oh,
but you asked about diet, and so if you're willing to cut out carbs and sugar, add
yeah.
proteins, add fats, um, you'll notice some pretty damn quick changes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Definitely.
Yep. So we
Yeah.
definitely went off topic with the physical fitness stuff, but I also understand that, you want to improve your physical fitness and become more
Yeah.
attractive, and I get it. I went through the same journey, so I get it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure.
Was there any other questions?
Uh, Nothing as of now. What I have.
Okay. No, I think this is a good stopping
Yeah.
point. Did you
Yep.
get volume two of the book yet? It just came out today.
Yes, I will order it right away. Actually, I forgot after whatever I we had conversation because I was in the call and I was working on, and few other friends came and I kept on talking to them and everything went off. Hey, yep, definitely I will buy it right away.
Okay.
Coach,
Yeah.
again, thanks for reminding.
Yeah, you bet, man.
Um,
And dude, it is night and day. When you smile, you are so much more approachable. Truly.
yeah, sure.
Always have a
Yeah,
smile on your face. Force it
yeah,
until it
sure.
just
Thank you.
becomes like how your face works.
Yeah, yeah, sure. It's a very good thing what you said to me today and made my day. Maybe tomorrow I will like to go to a pub and try whatever he said
Yeah,
and
dude,
just
just
give it a try.
smile.
If it fails, also I don't care,
Yeah, just
but
smile.
that's fine.
You know what I used to
That's
do? This was a hack that I would do when I was learning because I didn't
okay.
always know what to talk about, but I knew that my
Okay.
love for psychology was reinforced by what I was learning and what I was doing, right? What I
Okay.
would do is I would talk about the things that I was learning in dating, in attraction, in psychology, because it would help me
Okay.
learn it. And so
Oh.
be like, yeah, this might be random. I know we're strangers, but like I hate awkward silences. So if you think this is cool, we'll be best friends, right? Again,
Yeah.
smiling. If you think this is cool, we'll be best friends. But did you know that like that what would I talk about? I would talk about like most human beings when they're like at a bar or talking, they have something in their hand, like a drink. And
Yeah.
in fact, if you're willing to just stand here with your shoulders at your side, no hands in your pocket, like you feel weird, you feel naked. Watch, try it.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you every time I went to a group of people that I'd never met before, and that was what I opened with. They were all just like, "Ah, that is weird. Like, what did you do to me just now?" And I'd be like, "Right? It's so strange. Hi, my name is Chris, by the way." And that was the icebreaker. It worked. But like
Yeah.
most people don't have those conversations. Most
Mm, yep.
people don't have something interesting and new to talk about. Everything that I teach you should be interesting and new, hopefully.
Yep.
So talk about it.
Yep.
And if you get their attention, guess what? You're the cool new guy that they just randomly met that has cool information. And that was kind of
Yep.
my trick, my hack when I was first starting, because I didn't always know what to talk
Oh,
about.
oh, totally cool.
Cool, man.
Yep.
All right.
Cool.
Smile.
Thank you.
You
Yeah.
bet, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
All right, Santos, have a good one. And if you have any friends that you think would benefit from the school group and from these phone calls,
Yeah.
tell them to join. It's free.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Actually, there are a couple of my friends who are living here, and maybe I will tell them. But I think they are not like that much into this,
They're
where
they're
they
too cool for
say,
school.
huh?
They're too cool for school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what they say.
fuck them.
We don't want to do all these kinds of things,
Ah, whatever.
and they just want to live up their life, go to office and do work, and then come back and so let's see whatever happens, it happens, and yeah, that's something like that.
Yeah, man. Then don't worry about it. Like you just
Yeah,
focus on you, and I promise you, like
yeah, sure.
most human beings that know you are not going to recognize you in a couple months and definitely in a couple years. So I got you.
Yeah, sure, definitely, Chris. Thank
Yeah, man.
you.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you for your yeah, yeah. Thank you,
Bye.
Chris. Bye bye.